Hi, this is Ruth Theresa with One Inspiring Woman, and today we are talking about planetary energies. We are talking about Mercury in retrograde. So I'm going to talk about kind of how Mercury's been affecting us during this retrograde cycle, what we still have to work through with Mercury in retrograde, and what else can we focus our energy on during this time frame to get the most energy we can out of Mercury in retrograde. And then I'm going to pull a couple angel cards and give us a little bit deeper insight into what we can finish up or what can we do at this time. So let's get some dates about Mercury in retrograde in the sign of Gemini. Mercury entered pre-shadow on May 14th. It stationed and turned full retrograde on May 29th. It stations and turns direct, means it starts to spin up, get a little faster on June 22nd, and leaves post-shadow on July 7th in just a few days. So this is really important. Mercury is the planet of communication, all communication, emailing, text messaging, speaking, learning, technology, all facets of contact with others. And so it's really important to be very careful about our communication with others. Are we speaking clearly? Are we speaking and getting clear communication from the other side? And if we aren't, this is a great time to kind of like stop. We are having a miscommunication, and let's clear this up. And what can we do to get better communication in the future? I thought you said this, and let's clear this up together and kind of clear up this energy. And then even making new agreements, like I'm choosing to always have great communication with you. I'm always choosing to understand what you want from me or desire from me, so we can get this clear communication. One of the things that's kind of you shouldn't really do in Mercury in retrograde until it's completely out of post shadow is begin any new projects, make any huge expensive purchases, kind of launching a new business or launching something else, launching things, sending valuable documents through the mail, and this could even go into surgery, anything that's a big purchase. It's one of those double checking the dates and making sure that important meetings go after this time frame, and kind of just like push it off as much as you can. One of the things that's kind of interesting is during this time frame, computer glitches, cell phone glitches, updates that don't work correctly. That just happened to me on my cell phone. I had an update and it didn't go in correctly, so we had to reset the whole phone and deal with a lot of kind of backup, kind of like crazy stuff. But this happens a lot during Mercury in retrograde. Computer glitching, crashing, you're more likely to get broken into or have someone kind of steal your identity or any of that kind of during this Mercury in retrograde cycle. So it's really important to kind of break down our communication and really take the time to kind of think about our thoughts and our dreams. Where have we kind of crossed those lines between what we want versus what other people want for us? What do we want? What do we desire? What do we require in our lives compared to what someone else wants for us? So that's a really important thing to kind of take our time and make new decisions or new choices with. This is a great time to kind of like, where do I want to go in my life? Anything that you were working on from Mercury being in retrograde last time to Mercury going into starting retrograde on May 14th, what would you like to have happen? What were your dreams during that time frame? What would you want to work on? What would you kind of like to take to that next chapter? Or what can you take to the finish line? What can you say like, I finished this project, or I've done all of this, or I've taken care of this? This is a really great time to kind of bring that energy in and kind of, what's next for me? What are the opportunities? And not necessarily starting anything, but thinking about where are the opportunities? Where are they coming in my world? Where do I need to be looking for them? And it could be kind of just that planning ahead. What's coming up next? If this happens, I'm going to do this. If that happens, I'm going to go here. So this makes it really easy and more simple of just kind of like, where do I want to go with this? I will even tell you that this is a really bad time to start a relationship, a brand new relationship. I was talking to a client the other day, and she was going to have a blind date, and she was very excited about it. And I was like, wait until after July. And she was like, no, that's so long away. And I was like, you can still do things to keep the relationship going on, but don't start anything during this time frame. If this is the one that you're supposed to be with, they'll wait till you get to that time frame. It's one of those, this is a really great time to reconnect with old friends or kind of work through old projects. Anything that you haven't been working on, bringing that up, What can I do to bring this to a close? What can I do to bring this to a finish or an end? And bringing up those things. One of the things that's really important to kind of really think about, I said earlier, is kind of like, what are you missing in your life? What is it that you want to draw into you? And sometimes those are items. I lost my watch. I lost this. I didn't do this. Whatever it is, and kind of bringing those items back to you during this time frame. But it can also be, what am I missing in my life? What do I really want to bring in? What are my desires? What are my requirements for this life? What's going to make me feel accepted or special, or what do I want to do or take care of or create in this world? Those are really great things to work through during this time frame of Mercury in retrograde. And this is just a process of thinking. Sometimes you can even start looking for classes online. Don't sign up yet, but make sure that you're taking that time to look. Let's pull a couple of angel cards and see what our angels have to tell us about Mercury in retrograde. So let's see. This is our first one, celebration. Really, so many people get so terrified of Mercury in retrograde. They're like, oh my gosh, I have clients that won't leave their house for weeks, and they get petrified, and they're like, oh my gosh, everything is going to go wrong, and my computer's going to crash, and this is going to happen. No, it's not. It's time to work through things. It's kind of like someone showing you, here's where the problem is, and now you get the opportunity to fix it. Now you get the opportunity to make it better, make it something different, and making sure that you're really standing in what you should be standing in. Like, am I standing in what I should be doing next, or where should I go next? My next card is truth and integrity, and that's kind of a great card that we were just talking about. It's kind of like, where are we standing in our truth? Where are we standing in what we want to do next? What's going to fulfill our heart, not everybody else's heart? What's in our heart that we want to bring forward, and kind of like, what is our dream job or dream business or whatever it is, and start thinking about those things and drawing that energy to you as we work through Mercury in retrograde. Don't put anything in action yet. It's kind of just the time to start thinking about it. Freedom. There are lots of freedoms in Mercury in retrograde, and it's a great time, like I said, to connect to old friends, kind of clear things up with them. This is a great time to kind of bring things to a close, and that can be very freedom driven. It's like, oh my gosh, I love when I get a project completely finished and I'm ready to move forward in my life. That's a great time. It's like I've let go of all those old stuff and I'm ready to move into the new things. And that's really what Mercury in retrograde is really about, and kind of showing us where we're not dealing with things. Friendship, talking about old friends, clearing things up with old friends or communicating with them in some way, having lunch or dinner and kind of reconnecting with them and kind of finding out what's new or different with them, and kind of clearing the air. A lot of times it's just small misunderstandings or things that you're just ready to tell them all about. And so kind of clear the air of like, what's been going on with you, and let me tell you all about what's been going on with me. And that's a great way to kind of clear out the old communication with other people. Let's pull one more card right here. Got like 3 jumping. This is the one that's jumping the most. Focus. Mercury in retrograde is a great time to focus on, what do you want to draw into you next? What is it that's coming up next? Where do you want to go with this energy? What is your next? Where do you want to go? What do you want to accomplish? And kind of start thinking about those things, looking up things online or finding things that will kind of draw your interest. And a lot of times, I will tell you, most people already know what they want. They just want approval with it. It's one of those, I want someone else to say, oh, you should be doing this, or you should have this kind of business. It's one of those, we want it to hear it externally, but all we really have to do is hear it internally in our heart, because our heart is telling us this is going to make you happy. This is going to make you a great success because it's something you absolutely love to do. That's the best part of this. This is the best part. So know that there is things out there that are drawing to you during this time of Mercury in retrograde. I know we only have a few days left, but this is a great time to kind of draw that energy into you in Mercury in retrograde. And what are you ready to clear up? What are you ready to clean up in your life and kind of get ready for this next phase? Mercury will be in retrograde in a few months, and that's an awesome time for us to go through this again. But this is really a great time that we've had a lot of energy in play. And what do we want to clear up? What do we want to bring into our lives? What do we want to bring forward into what's coming up next for us? Mercury in retrograde is a great time, and I absolutely love it. But I often tell people, it's not something to fear. It's something to celebrate. It's something to kind of like, our angels and guides are showing us where we've made mistakes so we can correct them, so we can change them, so we can do something else with our lives. That is the fun part. I thank you so much for joining me, and I know that we'll be talking again soon.